What's going on, everyone? SurgicalSnipes here, back at it again with my last Diablo Immortal video. What is going on, everyone? Um, you know, if you guys can tell from the title, this is gonna be one of those videos. I'm not feeling the game anymore. I don't feel welcome anymore. I don't feel happy when I play the game. And I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I am quitting. I am quitting Diablo Immortal. All right, this is not a decision that I take lightly. I thought about this every day. I talk with me and my family about this. And I feel like now is the time to make a change. Um, and I don't want to just leave just like this without giving a proper explanation on my decision of quitting the game. Um, so I want to start with a couple things here. I want to give this proper goodbye in the Diablo Immortal franchise, in the Diablo franchise in general. Um, I want to give it its proper send off, because I know some people might be disappointed, and some people might be happy, right? I have haters, doubters, people who didn't believe in my story, who didn't believe in my story at all, or maybe they did, but they just wanted to be haters. And then I have a lot of cool people who are my supporters who believed in my story, and I'm really happy to have met you guys over the years. As you guys know, the game has been out since 2022, since June 2022, and that's when I started. Right, I started on day one at launch, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the game of Diablo Immortal. I fell in love with the Diablo franchise in general, and little did I know what was going to be my destiny in this game, in this franchise. And I pretty much, long story short, I became Diablo. I became Diablo, and not in the religious sense, right? But in the franchise for Blizzard Entertainment, I proved to be Diablo because I'm the number one player of the game. I'm the number one PvP player of the game. So I was able to prove that I was able to claim the title of Diablo. And this is why it hurts me so much to leave just when I'm on the brink of getting Blizzard to know that I exist. For those who have been following my videos lately, um, I'm really pushing to let Blizzard know that I exist, or I was. And I was making video after video. I even had some little Discord drama with some of the people there, and from the different Discords over the years. And I just made a recent video about that. But that's all in the past now. I don't need to deal with all that anymore. And yeah, I'm saddened to leave. Based on I'm saddened to leave based on just when we're on the brink, when I'm on the brink of letting Blizzard know that I exist. I had this plan. I had this plan to talk to Blizzard, right? Go to Blizzard headquarters in Irvine, California, and let them know that I'm Diablo, and tell them my story and how I realized it was me, that it was even possible that a player can even call himself that can claim that title of the whole franchise, being the main character, Diablo. And you know, I wanted to just go to Blizzard headquarters every day, have my office, stream for you guys, stream for the community, do podcasts related to the franchise, related to the Diablo games, and maybe other Blizzard games also. All there at the Blizzard HQ, have my own Diablo statue, and even wear the Diablo costume. I just recently saw that there's a Diablo costume in there. There's the Diablo like statue costume thing that you can actually back in 1997, somebody was actually in that costume, and I was like, when I saw that, I teared up, because I knew that was me, and I was like, shit, that I gotta go in the costume, and I gotta have Blizzard make me a costume, my own custom Diablo costume, because I know it's me, and I, anyways, you know, that's all in the past now, because I'm not gonna be playing another Diablo game ever again. It's took a toll on my health. I've been playing it for 4 years straight. Like almost pretty much every day, sometimes 10, 12 hours or more a day. This whole time, for 4 years, just constantly playing battlegrounds, playing the PVE, playing the battlegrounds, and the Conqueror PvP, and all this other stuff in the game that you can do, right? And I became obsessed. I became obsessed in proving my claim as the number one player, to claim the title of Diablo. And I was just constantly going in other creator streams, right? Diablo Immortal's creator streams, other Diablo YouTuber streams, constantly chatting, and I believe I was making friends with some of them, or at least on a community level of a mutual understanding of them knowing who I am. And it was cool. I was having fun in the chat rooms. There are a lot of people calling me a troll and this and that, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. You know, and so yeah, that's what I was doing for the last 4 years, right? I was since 2022. We're in 2026 now, and I was just trying to prove to everybody that I'm the number one player of the entire game. And I think I've done that. I believe I proved that years ago already. You know, and I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I wanted to let Blizzard know, but for some reason they don't get the message. I wanted to make this work. I really wanted to make it work because I know it's the truth. I can easily prove my PvP dominance in fair play matches, no matter the class, no matter the build. I mean, no matter the class, right? If you give me a meta build with any class, I'm gonna be able to do amazing things with that, and but yeah, it's not in my heart anymore. I'm tired of trying to get in contact with Blizzard. They don't want to reply back to me. I called the Blizzard operator number. They referred me to a PR email, and I sent like 3 or 4 emails this like the whole year already from since last year, and nothing back. So I'm like, what's the point of a PR email if they can't even reply back? You know, this should be breaking Diablo news, right? For the franchise, a number one player is claiming to be Diablo. Maybe they would think they would want to cover that, right? Because it's like a big deal in as far as the franchise is concerned. But anyways, I'm just sick of it already. I don't care anymore because you know what am I gonna do every day? Just keep making videos, trying to get Blizzard's attention. I believe some of the employees know I exist, right? Some of the community managers, they know I exist. The content creators know I exist. The community managers know I exist also. So what are we waiting on? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Instead of me trying to get their attention, and try and get their attention and every freaking day and trying to prove my point. I already proved my point. And I know who I am. This isn't the only game that I'm the number one player in, and I'm gonna be focusing more on that game now because you know this one here, Diablo Immortal, is just it's already taken its toll on me. It was taking my toll years ago already, but I just somehow stayed this long. There was always times when I wanted to just leave completely, and I've had times in the past where I took a long break, a couple months, or a month or two, and I came back. I always came back. But this time is different. This time is different because I feel it this time. I'm getting older now. I'm not that old, but you know, I need to go out and do some IRL shit. The good old touch grass. And get a career in something. I wanted to do it with Blizzard, right? Because of my unique situation, being Diablo of the Diablo franchise, but Blizzard doesn't want to acknowledge it. Blizzard doesn't want to respect the fact that there's somebody out there that's just that good at the games, at the PvP of their games for the Diablo franchise that can actually make the claim of being Diablo. And I'm sick of it already. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. I try to ask the Diablo YouTubers, the Diablo creators in the partner program for help to let Blizzard know, to mention that to the devs so they can call me or so they can email me or message me or whatever. And I don't understand, like I thought they're cool, I thought I introduced myself to them, and you know, I'm just saying, hey, just let them know I exist, and then from there I can talk to Blizzard, and then from there I can talk to them about my story, and prove who I am, but they couldn't even do that. None of the Diablo creators I talked to, they can't even freaking do that for the guy that's claiming to be Diablo. I don't understand that. I never, when I introduced myself to the content creators, right, to the Diablo partners, I never said anything negative to them. I never freaking, I never, I never disrespected them in any way. I'm just asking for a freaking small favor that will help out the whole franchise in the long run, right? This is for life we're talking about, right? It's like a lifetime thing. It's a big deal. Anyone who says it isn't a big deal, as far as the Diablo franchise by Blizzard is concerned, they have no idea what they're talking about. And I don't want to sound negative or sound toxic, but you guys hopefully will understand where I'm coming from here on my situation here. It's not that I think I'm this perfect person and that I have this big sense of importance and all that shit. No. I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm a human being just like everybody else. I'm just claiming what I know I deserve, what I earned, right? I earned this. I earned this title. My matches show it. My matches prove it. And all I'm asking for is for Blizzard to recognize that. That's all I'm asking for. Or at least I was, because now I don't give a shit. Because I'm done. I'm done. You know, Blizzard, you had your chance to freaking work with the guy that could be called Diablo. We could have made so much content creator. We could have made so much we could have made so much content creator. We could have made so much content creator. We could have created so much content, I should say. And you know, I would have played all the Diablo games in an office there, streaming for the whole community, right? The one of a kind PvP, right? I would have welcomed all challengers in the PvP. Doesn't mean I was going to be perfect, right? Everybody dies in the game. But in fair play PvP, I would have it would have been really difficult for my opponents to mess with me, and it would have made for great content. As far as Diablo Immortal is concerned, right? I would have asked Blizzard for a max resonance account. I would have asked Blizzard for a max resonance account, not just in one region, but in multiple regions, you know, in all the regions. I would have asked for a max resonance account, and then I would have formed a team, formed a clans in all the regions, and then take over all the servers as the one true immortal of Diablo Immortal, because I'm the number one player, right? So it's the truth, right? It would have gone down just like that, if I had my own clans, a full clan that was on my side, and was able to compete in the rows, the Rite of Exiles, and the Shadow War stuff, and the Challenge of the Immortals stuff, whatever. I would have been able to do all that shit in the PvP because I'm the number one player. You see, so that was part of the plan, and it would have made for great content to go on the Crusades, on the Diablo Immortal Crusades, on the True Immortal Crusades is what I was gonna call it, the True Immortal Crusades, going from server to server, all the server. I'm talking about all the servers, and I would have just taken over all of that shit. So It is what it is. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. You know, if Blizzard doesn't want to acknowledge that I exist, well then too bad for them. Fuck it. Fuck it. I tried. Believe me, I fucking tried. I tried to let them know. I asked everybody that I could for help. I asked everybody who was involved in Diablo Immortal, in the partners programs, the guys that were willing to talk to me. I asked everybody I could. I called the operator. I sent emails, and nothing. You know, but I did get something back from some of the managers, their community managers there. But it was just like, what the hell? And I try to reply back to that, and they don't even want to reply back after they're the ones that replied first. They're the ones that DM me first. So I'm like, what is going on here? You know, it's like, what are we waiting for here? A guy is claiming to be Diablo for your Diablo franchise, Blizzard. Wouldn't you want to check that out to make sure to verify that? Come on. What are we waiting on here? At least that's what I was thinking. Because now I'm like, shit, fuck it. They don't care. They don't care. They think I'm kidding. Then they know I'm not kidding. They know I'm not trolling here. So what are we waiting on? So anyways, y'all, I didn't want to make that too negative, but hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from here. As far as the frustration of being the number one player of a freaking franchise as big as the Diablo franchise is, and to not get recognized by the people who made it. I wanted to meet all the developers of the game. I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to share my story and hear how they made the whole Diablo universe. I wanted to meet the creators of who actually made the franchise. Take pictures with them. And talk about all things of the game, of the franchise, because of the games of the Diablos 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Diablo Immortal, because I'm that guy. I'm Diablo. And then people might say, oh, no, why he's claiming to be the devil. No, I'm not trying to claim to be the devil, right? I'm trying to make that very clear. Let's make this very clear. I'm not trying to claim to be the devil. The game, the franchise is called Diablo, right? It's made by Blizzard Entertainment, right? It's made by Blizzard Entertainment. It's a work of fiction. It's a video game franchise, right? It just so happens that the name of the franchise is called Diablo. And whoever understands this knows what I'm talking about. So that's the only relation there, right? That's the only relation there, right? That the game is called Diablo. I'm the number one PvP player in it, and that's why I'm claiming the title of the name of the main character, which is Diablo. The final boss, because I'm the most difficult person to kill in the PvP, in fair play PvP, right? Because I'm the number one player in it. So, anyways, y'all. That's what I'm talking about with all that. So hopefully you guys understand, and Blizzard, if you're watching, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with you guys. I tried, I tried, but you guys didn't want to honor the truth. So now I'm just going to I'm not going to care anymore, right? Because why should I care in trying to get you guys' attention to recognize me if you guys don't care, right? What am I going to do my whole life? I'm going to try and beg to go to Blizzard headquarters and tell my story. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, maybe they'll give me a chance. Come on, man. That's bullshit. I wanted to freaking be part of the show. I wanted to be the show. I would have been the Diablo show. Okay, I get it. You guys got hit with a freaking, curveball here. You guys didn't think that a guy could claim the whole thing. That a guy could claim being the main character of one of your gaming franchises. Well, hopefully you guys knew that it was always possible. It was always possible, and you guys knew that, And that guy is me, right? The Diablo franchise. To all whoever's going to hear this, hopefully from the Diablo franchise, right? Whether it's the creators, the developers, whoever it is in Blizzard Entertainment. If you guys are hearing this video, if you guys are hearing this message, this is as real as it gets. You guys created a franchise, a video game franchise called Diablo. The number one PvP player is claiming to be Diablo. That's the truth, right? I'm the best player of the game. So that's why I'm claiming to be Diablo, and it makes sense, right? It makes sense. It only makes sense. So I don't know why you guys don't want to deal with me. I don't know why you guys are not taking me seriously. To all the players to all my opponents who I've faced in the battlegrounds, in playable matches, and to all the my opponents that I played in Conquer PvP, right, the fair play PvP mode of Diablo Immortal, they know I'm not lying. They know that I am the truth when I'm claiming to be the number one player. They know firsthand. They are witnesses to my claim, and that's why people believe me, because it's true. That's why I'm talking like this. That's why I've been saying this for years, because do you guys really think that I would put myself out here on the internet like this? On the internet and just do all this shit, sing songs, even sing songs about all this shit, right? Going to all this going through, why would I go through all this trouble making video after video, hundreds of videos, right? Hundreds of battleground matches and conquer PvP matches, make songs about this or sing songs about this, being the number one player, if it was all a lie? Do you guys really think I would go through all that shit if it wasn't the truth? No. I did all this because it's the truth. And it shows. And people, the who's who in the Diablo Immortal community knows that I'm not lying. Whether they like me, whether they hate me, they know that I'm telling the truth. Whether the haters are going to admit it or not, that's up to them. But I know it's me, and all I was asking for is some recognition, Blizzard. You know, to honor the truth. Going to Blizzard headquarters, like, how hard could it be, just to go to Blizzard headquarters, you know, have my own office in the Diablo Immortal department, or in the Diablo department, you know, with a computer, with a PC, so I can stream for the community, so I can have a podcast even with anybody who I should be talking to in the industry, in the franchise, or in the industry in general. I would have done all that. It would have been the real Diablo show. You know, I would have been promoting the franchise, not just Diablo games, but also World of Warcraft and the other Blizzard games, Overwatch, and I would have given the best possible PvP show possible, you know, from the number one player's point of view. I would have created guides. I would have created, build guides, PvP guides, PvE guides, covering all the news, the updates, the patch notes, everything. As long as you guys would have helped me and taught me how to do all this shit, then the rest would be history, because I would have been able to perform. The PvP stuff would have been a breeze for me, right? That's a no-brainer. That's easy for me, right? The PvP stuff would have been easy for me. But if Blizzard was able to just help me, teach me how to, be more professional in how I speak, and their vision of what they want the Diablo franchise show to be, I would have learned. But I guess Blizzard doesn't want to go that route. They don't want to accept the truth. They don't want to honor the truth, and here we are now. And then when I talk in the Discord there, in Diablo Immortal, they just there's some people understand, but some people just want to be haters, and then they just want to, cry to the mod team to try and get me banned or whatever. And it doesn't matter, it's all bullshit, This is the same people that I'll just easily shit on in the PvP, It's serious, it's I'm being serious with all this, I'm not lying. Imagine this, guys, okay? I haven't been lying this whole time for the last 4 years that I'm the number one player, right? So out of all these 4 years, it's almost been 4 years, right? Out of all these 4 years, out of almost these 4 years from the time the game came out, right? People were calling me a troll. People were calling me this and that, saying I'm lying, saying I'm mental, saying I don't know what the hell I'm saying, like, come on. And I had to read all that shit, the hate comments, from people who are saying the most stupid shit. You know, what I never understood is how can somebody go out of their way to talk hate and debate something that they know that they're wrong about, right? Because somebody's right and somebody's wrong in a debate, right? So in my case, I'm showing proof. I'm showing proof of my claim every day, match after match, getting most kills, MVPs in the playable matches, right? Because we're not counting the matches that are unplayable, right? If I get one shotted, or if I can't deal damage to the person because of the pay to win resonance that they have, then it ain't gonna happen, right? So I'm not counting that. Those matches are a waste of time. I'm just talking about the playable matches in the BGs. Forget about the similar resonance. Oh my god, if it's the similar resonance, it's GGs. And if it's fair play, 100% fair play, like in Conqueror PvP, that's even more GGs. Yes, that's triple Gs already. If it's fair play PvP, it's GGU. Good game, uninstall. Shit. That's me just being my stupid ego that I have. Which I need to work on. See, that's why I got to get out of this shit because it's messed with my mind mentally. I'm the king of the franchise, or I'm the king of the game. So, um, that kind of messes with the guy's head, or at least from my point of view. You know. So, anyways, y'all. Again, I'm happy for the people that I met along the way who believed in my story, who have helped me in the game. Whether you guys were helping me, help me progress my character and all that, and the conversations we had. I will cherish those moments. I will cherish those experiences I've had with y'all. And my bad, but I gotta go now. I gotta go. Diablo's gotta go because I just don't feel it no more. I don't feel it. I don't feel the love back from the company. The company doesn't care about me. Blizzard doesn't care about Diablo for some reason. You know, Blizzard doesn't care about Diablo because if Blizzard cared about Diablo, they would call Diablo right now. You know, okay, there's nothing wrong with what I'm claiming here. Okay, if it's the truth, then why not honor the truth, Blizzard? Why not? You know, I try to be nice. I try to introduce myself, and you guys give me the cold shoulder, right? Who do you think I am? Who do you think I am in this whole fucking thing that you guys created? You think I'm just some random person, some random troll on the internet? No. I'm the guy that proved to be the main character of your franchise, Blizzard. Okay? I proved to be that guy. I proved to be Diablo. I earned it. I earned the title. Now, all I'm asking is for a little recognition here. How hard could it be to give me my own office, right? And a PC and let me and guide me in directing the in my streams, the Diablo show streams. Is that so much to ask? To present me at the BlizzCon wearing my own custom Diablo outfit, my Diablo costume, like the one you guys have there from 1997. You know, is it that much? Is it that much to ask? If it's the truth, I thought you guys were gonna be happy that a guy can be claiming Diablo. Can be claiming to be called Diablo. Right? Because it's a thing that nobody ever thought would be possible. Well, I'm sure there are people that knew that it was possible, but anyways, it would have been so fun. It would have been a lifetime role, and I would have been so happy. But the way things are right now, I don't think it's ever gonna happen because Blizzard's not gonna recognize me. I thought it was gonna be so easy to just say, "Hey, Blizzard, I'm Diablo. Welcome me with open arms, Blizzard." But I guess it doesn't. Reality doesn't work like that. I guess, or maybe I have bad luck. I guess I don't know. So, I can go on and on about this, but that's where I'm at, y'all, and I just can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. I'm tired of talking to the haters. I'm tired of talking to the doubters, even though I could just block them. But and I'm just tired of the whole thing. It puts a lot of stress on me also when I play the battlegrounds and the conqueror PvP. Like in order for me to do what I do in the game, right, to put up those kind of numbers and to be very difficult for my opponents to kill me in there, even though I do die every now and then. Um, I it takes a lot out of me, right? I'm the most difficult person to kill in the game, right? So it's it's a, for me to become that person, to have that kind of reaction time and speed and all that shit. It takes a lot out of me mentally. It drains me mentally every time I do it, right? Right, because I'm playing with a different type of mentality than everybody else when I play PvP. And it's a very dark place, right? The game's called Diablo, right? And um, that's uh, that's what I had to do, right? I had to take myself to that dark place in order to perform the way I do. And this is another reason why I'm leaving. This is another reason why I'm quitting, because it's not good for my health. It's not good for my health to behave like this. It's not good for my health to play the game like this. Um, you know, it's stressful and it's negative, and that's not how video games should be played, right? Video games should be played to have fun, and to make friends and enjoy it. But when you take it to a dark place, like the way I've done for these last 4 years, um, this is the result, right? I became Diablo, right? I became Diablo of the Diablo franchise, but at what cost? I had to go insane, pretty much, you know, and yeah, I'm getting emotional just thinking about all this shit, because it's been 4 years, and I don't want to say it's been almost 4 years wasted. You know, I try to let Blizzard know who I am, and they don't want to respond back. I uh, I met some cool people along the way, and I enjoyed the game. When the times when I did, and of course those crazy battleground matches and conquer PvP matches. At least that will always be up there for you guys to see. And yeah, I think I should go now. Because I'm getting emotional about this, and I, I really wanted it to make this happen. I really believed that it was me, and oh my god. Well, I guess I'll leave it like that, because I can go on, and I don't want to keep dragging on this video any more longer than it should be. So to all the people who believe in my story, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for believing in my story, everyone. And to all my haters, to my haters who know that it's me, who that know that I'm actually Diablo, but still choose to hate for whatever reason, just take care of yourselves. Like, hopefully you guys will not want to keep spreading hate. But it's up to you guys. Doesn't matter what I say. You guys are gonna do what you guys are gonna do anyway, right? um, I would recommend people just to be more kind to each other, and you know, especially to people who don't to be to, it's not right to hate on people that don't deserve it. If it's like, in my case, for example, did I hurt you? Did I harm you in some way, or did I say something to you in some way? Maybe I said something to you guys negatively. Who knows? I forgot half the shit that I said already. But yeah, I recommend people just to be kind to each other and to not promote hate, because things escalate and it's just not right. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a video game. It's a video game meant to have fun in, and the people that play PvP, sometimes they go overboard with the toxicity, and there's no room for that. If you guys can control that with your mind and just block out all the bad shit, then you'll have a great time. All right. So, anyways, y'all, I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe I could have said this goodbye better, but um, I have to go now. Blizzard again, I hope you guys do well. I'm sure you guys will do well without me, even if you guys don't recognize the true immortal of Diablo Immortal, or the true player that can be called Diablo of the entire franchise, Diablo himself. Um, you know, just best of luck to y'all, and just know that there was a player out there that had the legit claim of being called Diablo, and that player is me, SurgicalSnipes, Sergio Vera. And yeah, y'all, so my last thing I want to say before I go, this is the last thing I want to say in this video. Okay? Are you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. April Fools!